Hello, children, and welcome to the session today. Children, whenever your study table is very crowded and cluttered, you feel very confused. You do not know where to begin from. And you also do not know where your certain things are placed under that huge pile of books or notebooks or colored paper that you've been using. Children, that is why organizing your study table is always a good idea. Even in our everyday life, we like to keep things in an organized manner. We do not like the things to be in a cluttered manner. This is what we are going to learn in today's chapter in your science book. Chapter number 4, Separation of Substances. We keep going to the markets to get different things. So when we go to a vegetable vendor, he has arranged all the vegetables in different piles. He does not mix them up. He separates them. Similarly, if you go to a departmental store, you will see many different kinds of things arranged in a particular manner. So pulses will be arranged together, and of the pulses, one kind of pulses will be together. Then oils will be on a different shelf. Detergents will be on a third shelf, and so on. So children, separation of substances is a very, very important thing. What is the need for separation? Separation is done to obtain useful things such as butter by churning milk, cotton fibers by separating the seeds from the cotton fiber. The process of removing the harmful, unwanted components is known as separation. So children, the second advantage is that you get useful substances out of separation of different items. Now, we can use different methods of separation at different times. Let us first understand the process of threshing and the process of winnowing. What are these two processes? When the farmer grows the crop has grown up, it is ready for harvesting. The farmer cuts the entire crop with the entire plant. So, from that plant, when we have to separate the seeds, how do we do that? We do that by threshing and winnowing. Let us understand these two processes through this short video. When the harvesting period approaches, the crop of the cereal is ready in the field. It is first cut from its stalk. The second step required is to remove the grains from the stalks. Threshing is the process of beating out the grains from the chaff. This may be done manually by beating the stalks on the ground or using a thresher. It is a machine used in fields for the threshed grains. Winnowing is the method generally used by farmers to separate grains from husk after threshing. They are mixed with the chaff. The process involves the farmer standing at a higher level and throwing the mixture of grains and husk from a height in the direction of the wind. The grains, being heavy, drop vertically and form a heap. So children, this was the process of threshing and winnowing in which substances like grains are separated from the chaff. Let us now understand about the process of sieving. If the components of a mixture are of different sizes, they can be separated by sieving. Sieve removes unwanted seeds and soil particles from grains. The smaller components pass through the pores of the sieve, whereas the larger components are left behind in it. In this way, impurities can be removed from the grains. Another very common way of removing stones and other kind of components from the grains, cereals, pulses and rice is known as hand picking. You must have seen in your own homes when your mother is about to cook pulses, she takes the pulses or the rice on a plate and looks through them for stones and little particles, and she picks them up and removes them. This process is known as hand picking and is most commonly used for dal, rice, wheat, etc. Let us understand the process of filtration now. The process used for separating suspended impurities from a liquid by passing the mixture through a filtering device is called filtration. The thickness of the holes of the filters depend on the thickness of solid matter to be filtered, like the tea leaves can be filtered through a sieve, but mud cannot be filtered through it. Let us understand an activity to filter mud with the help of a filter paper. Take a beaker and fold the filter paper in the shape of a cone and put into a funnel in such a way that solution when poured passes through it. Pass muddy water through the funnel and then observe. You will see that the mud cannot pass through the fine holes of the filter paper and clear water passes through it. It gets collected in the beaker. Thus, the mud is collected on the filter paper, and in this way, solid impurities can be separated from the liquids through filtration. There is another method of filtration in which the magnetic property of the substances are used. What is this method? It is known as magnetic separation. In magnetic separation, a magnet is run over a mixture. Particles that are magnetic like iron, nickel, cobalt, etc., they get attracted towards the magnet and they are removed from the mixture. Children, another interesting activity is sedimentation, and along with sedimentation comes decantation. So, how are sedimentation and decantation used together? Let us watch through the video. Separating insoluble solids from liquids can be done by using different methods. The process by which insoluble substances which are heavier than water settle down at the bottom of the container is known as sedimentation. These solid particles that settle down are known as sediments. The clear liquid above the sediment is known as supernatant. The clear liquid is gently poured off into another container without disturbing the sediments. This process is called decantation. Children, the process of separation of insoluble impurities from water actually gives us pure water. So, let us now understand in detail the process by which we can obtain drinking water. The first method is evaporation. We all know that the process in which the water changes into vapor state is known as evaporation. And this method is used to separate dissolved substances in water. So, for instance, if water and salt are there in a mixture, if you boil that mixture, the salt will be left as a sediment or as a waste, and pure water will rise as water vapor, and it can later on be collected by cooling it. Another way of obtaining pure water, separating it from impurities, is known as loading. Now, how is loading done? As we can see in this picture, there are suspended particles inside water which will take a very long time to settle. So, what is the shortest possible way of purifying this water? We take alum or fitkari. Now, this alum or fitkari is tied on a piece of thread and left in the water in a rotating motion. All the impurities will attach to this alum and we will obtain clear water which can be boiled and used for drinking. The next method is known as crystallization. Crystallization is used to obtain solids in their purest form. Now, how is crystallization done? The solution is allowed to cool down slowly, and as it cools down, the crystals of the solute start accumulating on the surface of the solution. The size of the crystals formed will depend on the rate at which the liquid cools. These crystals can be obtained later on and removed from the solution. The next way of separating mixtures is known as centrifugation. Centrifugation is a churning process, as we can see in the picture also. It helps to separate butter from milk. The word centrifugation means to create a motion that makes the solid in the liquid fly off outwards. So, that is why it is done in closed vessels with closed lid, so that when the substances are flying outwards, they actually do not fly out of the vessel. Distillation is a process of obtaining pure liquid from a solution. Now, in this process, the liquid is first boiled, as we can see in this apparatus. The solution is first boiled and the water is allowed to evaporate. The water in the form of water vapor is cooled down through a condenser and clear water is collected in another beaker. Distillation is a process of obtaining pure water. The next process is called sublimation. We all know that most solids, when heated, melt into liquid form first and then change into gaseous form. But there are certain solids which do not behave in this manner. They skip the liquid form, and examples are like camphor, iodine, naphthalene and ammonium chloride. What do all these do? They directly convert into their vapor form. In scientific language, these substances are said to sublime directly on heating. Now, let us understand the different kinds of solutions that we see around ourselves. But before that, what is a solution? A solution is a mixture of two or more solvents. So, a solvent plus a solvent makes a solution. When the solvents are of the same type, the solution is known as homogeneous solution. And when they are not of the same type, it is known as a heterogeneous solution. Children, then come the saturated solution and the unsaturated solution. So, what is a saturated solution? For example, if you keep on adding sugar to water, you keep mixing it continuously and then you want to add more sugar, you will see that the extra sugar that you have added is not mixing. It is still floating in the water. Why does this happen? Because the capacity of water with which it can absorb the sugar in itself is over. That is why all the additional sugar that you are adding is roaming freely in the solution. Such a solution is called a saturated solution, and an unsaturated solution is a solution in which you can keep adding more sugar and it will keep on mixing it. Now, sugar is a substance that can easily dissolve in water, and so is salt. So, these are soluble materials. Different substances have got different solubility in water. All aerated drinks contain dissolved carbon dioxide. So, gases are soluble in water. Aquatic plants use dissolved carbon dioxide to make their food by photosynthesis, and the oxygen dissolved in water is taken up by fish through its special organs called gills. The solubility of gases in water decreases with the rise in temperature. So, children, in this chapter today, separation of substances, you have learned how different substances are separated from each other. You've also learned about solutions and separating soluble and insoluble impurities from water. You have learned about solutions, saturated solutions and unsaturated solutions, and the solubility of different substances. Hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you.